Doing an awesome job today during today's ceremony. Those Cheetos are coming. Although my parents were able to be there on the start of my military career, unfortunately they're not here today for me to thank them publicly. I'd also like to thank my in-laws, Captain Alan Will and his wife, Linda, my sister Michelle, her husband Adam, now might be husband Andy, as well as my nieces, nephews, Grace, Eric, Emily, and Christopher. My sister-in-law, Amber. There's a lot of 06s and 05s retired out there. Thanks for all you guys for coming today. I know it takes a lot to come out here on a Sunday afternoon. All my friends, co-workers, shipmates, squadron mates. It really is an honor for you guys to come here and bless me with your presence, and appreciate all the years of friendship that I've had. To the current shipmates and friends of LRC 120, thanks for letting me serve alongside you, and awesome job with today's ceremony. Chief, former BMC, awesome job with piping, flag detail, side boys. Everyone did a great job, and it was very professional and an awesome way to end my career. Some of you may know my initial retirement plans were to simply stop and be finished and fade to black and not have a ceremony. It's a decision I thought about many times since affiliating with the reserves, especially on those long 12-day work weeks where you work a full week, have drill weekend, and then follow it back up with another 5 days of work week, which is a typical reservist schedule. It was a lot easier when I was an airline pilot, and Donnie, you're living the dream. But then after helping to influence a few colleagues to have a retirement ceremony, and then attending a few over the last couple of years, I realized that it is an important thing to do, and I needed to make sure I share it for my family and children. So as I prepared for the ceremony and planning everything, I started getting more and more nostalgic of all the things that happened. I was blessed. I'm audited all the opportunities that I've had. There are many fond memories. That Navy was generous enough to educate me, teach me to fly planes and helicopters, and I was able to go to over hundreds of foreign ports and over 13 foreign countries. Nothing beats a sunset at sea. Those are great to see. I was able to learn some stressful situations and how to handle them, such as training new pilots to land in the back of the boat on a pitch black night, which all prior to NVGs for some of the folks out there who may not know, or doing brownout landings. So all those are tough. I was lucky enough to have a bear trap against an Algerian kilo. Some of these experiences really were interesting and made me the person that I am today. But most importantly, I made some great friends throughout the years, and I can't overstate that. There's been disappointments too. Long deployments away from family and friends, including failed relationships, that those are always tough. And I can even mention one or two OICs that I wish I never met. My biggest disappointment was my first real lessons learned as a JO, which helped me become a little more assertive, which is one of my former bosses told me that I need to be a little more assertive, was watching a commanding officer not have the moral courage to do the right thing. And I learned a lot from it. So earlier in my career, I put in for time off or leave to attend my sister's wedding. And unfortunately, the battle group's deployment shifted because one of the cruisers didn't recognize the carrier stopping and ran into it and caused a shift in the deployment schedule. No one was really hurt other than the commanding officer losing his job, and but the end result was my leave was canceled, and I had to support a 2-week workup period, which slipped over the weekend of my sister's wedding. So although I had friends who were willing to take the place and so that I could attend the wedding, unfortunately the CO said no, that I had to go. Despite my dad calling and the CO sending a letter to him. But it was a very important lesson that I learned, that it's always important to do what's right and not what's easiest. And so even today, when I recall that experience, I always think about what's the best thing and the best plan forward, not necessarily what's right nor what's easiest. But overall, the Navy's treated me well, and I learned a lot. My experience was fulfilling and great, and in time, we all forget the low points. I was blessed to be born to have two great parents who instilled strong work ethic in me, which helped me in my naval career. I worked hard, and I believe it's paid off. The Navy's changing. As I leave, a new generation comes behind me. When I first started, I saw squadrons and ships integrate women at sea in the beginning of my career. In today's generation, sees women integrate into combat roles and transitions to the removal of enlisted ratings. It's exciting for those not at the end of their career, and I would do it all over again, to be a midshipman again and start from the beginning. Well, maybe except plebe year, I wouldn't mind starting as a youngster. But thanks for being here today. I look forward to spending the next chapter of my life with my family and a few more Saturdays and Sundays. So thanks again, and God bless.